What's up, O fans? It's Sam here. Olight's brand new Warrior Mini 3 is the long-awaited sequel to one of Olight's most prolific models, the Warrior Mini 2, a staple of collections worldwide and a true workhorse of a flashlight. But there is a new sheriff in town, and it's this one right here, the Warrior Mini 3. There is so much to talk about. I'll make the bold claim that this light right here is one of, if not the most refined pocket tactical flashlights you can buy on the market today. I know it's a bold claim, but let me run you through the bullet points. Speaking of bullets, the brand new third generation magnetic charging tail cap feels like a premium two-stage trigger on a semi-auto firearm. Not too much take up, you hit a wall and you click into turbo brightness. So through medium into turbo, very smooth, very reliable. You guys are going to love this third generation tail cap. Next up, it's a lot shorter and a little bit slimmer in the head as well compared to the Warrior Mini 2. A lot more pocketable as a result. Third, the proximity sensor has been radically redesigned to be minimally invasive during everyday use, and it's only around to save your butt in case of accidental activations. We'll talk more about that in just a second. In terms of performance, the lumen numbers are relatively unchanged, but it does have a even tighter hotspot for an even longer beam distance, in no small part due to the TIR lens, which we'll discuss further in just a moment. Now, it wouldn't be an Olight new release if it didn't come in some exciting new colors. What you see right here is the Forest Gradient, which is a lovely olive green over black gradient color, and there's also available is the Midnight Horizons blue gradient color, and that thing is just a spectacle. You guys don't want to miss out on that one during the July flash sale on olightstore.ca. Check out the link below to shop all the deals. The sale was just released. It's going to go live in just a couple of days. It might be live as you're watching this right now. So before we continue talking about the rest of the design cues of the Warrior Mini 3, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Lots to talk about here at Olight Canada. Okay, so those were the bullet points. Let's break that down a little bit further. Now, I mentioned this third generation tail cap. This is what the previous two generations looked like, and this one is the biggest innovation by far. The key difference is the charging contacts, both positive and negative, now live on the pressure pad itself. That allows the pad to be bigger and more comfortable on your thumb. Another side effect of that is you no longer have to worry about these weird trapezoidal posts on the exterior ring of the tail switch. They were used as charging contacts and to help the light tail cap stand. This one, they're all in the same place. You don't have to worry about anything in your way of that excellent thumb activation. This one had this dome shape to it, which was fine. The new one has a bit of a dish, bit of a concave shape to it. Your thumb fits on there really good. So it's a bigger, it's more comfortable, there's nothing in your way, and it's a lot more reliable and accurate. On the old Warrior Mini 2, it was easy to miss. You could short stroke it and the light wouldn't come on, or you could miss low mode and just come on in turbo. It was fine, but this is better. You can't miss on this one. It's always going to find low mode, and you can always click past low mode to get into high mode. Super reliable, super precise. You guys are going to love this tail cap. Another positive aspect of the tail cap redesign is the way that it handles metal shavings. But with the new flat design, with both polarities of the magnet on the same surface, it's a lot easier to wipe this thing clean and get rid of any metal shavings that you pick up throughout the day. I should also mention that a side effect of the tail cap redesign and the light being a little bit shorter overall means the magnet in the tail cap is functionally a lot stronger. You can mount this pretty much any old place in any orientation, and it'll stick there very securely. The tail cap is also fully compatible with all existing charging accessories and storage and carry accessories like the O-Link and the O-Hook. Okay, moving on. Now let's talk a little bit about performance. Now it is true that the lumen numbers are largely unchanged, but when you look at this footage of the Warrior Mini 3 against its predecessor, you can tell that the beam intensity is a lot greater for better long-range performance and ultimately better beam distance. The old one is rated at 220 meters, the new one is rated at 240 meters, but you don't have to go quite that far to see the distinct difference in the beam pattern. Another thing worth mentioning is the color temperature. Now, the old one was a little bit more neutral white. The new one is a distinct cool white beam, which is the way that you get the most performance out of an LED. If you want the brightest possible LED, it's got to be cool white, and them's the breaks. I do prefer neutral white in my EDC lights, but for something designed to have good long-range performance and be as bright as possible in the smallest possible package, cool white LED is the way to go. I'm a big believer that moonlight mode should be the minimum possible output for any given flashlight, and this absolutely succeeds. Going from a 1 lumen moonlight setting with a runtime of 45 days to the new generation with a sub half lumen moonlight setting that is rated to last 100 days. This is a big deal for me personally because, like I said, my opinion is that moonlight should be minuscule, because if you need it in the pitch black, you just need a little bit of light to see what you're doing, and some moonlight modes can be a little bright for that. This one, the perfect amount for EDC, very valuable feature to be built into an EDC flashlight. Now the proximity sensor is another big one. I was a fan of the proximity sensor on the Warrior Mini 2, but granted, it did get in the way sometimes. It was a bit much and you couldn't turn it off. On this one, the proximity sensor is only activated for the first half second after the light comes on in turbo. That's right, it's only active for the first half second. Anytime other than a half second, it's not going to dim at all. Key advantage of that is it's not going to dim in everyday use inappropriately. And another key advantage is if it's in your pocket and it's obstructed, well then it's going to save your butt. Or at least that's the idea. You can't turn this feature off, but if for any reason it does trip, you can always double tap on the side switch to defeat that proximity sensor. Another advanced feature in the Warrior Mini 3 is the active thermal management. Now the internal thermal monitor will dim the output, preventing the head of your light from getting too hot during extended runtime. Another piece of feedback that Olight has received from users of the Warrior Mini 2 was that it was a little bit too big, a little bulky in the head and a little bit long for the pocket. Well, this one is completely slimmed down. The body is now completely flush with the head of the light, and that's huge for a pocket light. And it's about 1 centimeter shorter, which is noticeable in the pocket. Speaking of pockets and saying pockets one too many times, this pocket clip is a lot more beefy than the old one. It's made of thicker steel, so it's going to grab onto the pocket really good and resist bending all that much better. The compromise there is only one pocket clip location, whereas the Warrior Mini 2, there's a little bit of extra length in the body, so you could have this accessory clip for a lanyard or to swap the pocket clip to the tail cap. But you don't really need that on this light. It's a little bit thinner, so the pocket clip actually allows for deep pocket carry in this configuration, and the lanyard hole is integrated into the clip itself. A couple more design cues that have changed in this latest generation is the side switch is now a hard plastic instead of a rubberized material, and that's good for durability. Then this one is pretty much flat and a little bit recessed into the bezel, but it is a little bit larger. And now let's talk about tactical mode. When this was released as a prototype for pre-release, it did not have tactical mode, but I am happy to report that the production model does have tactical mode, just like the Warrior Mini 2 and other Warrior models. Well, to access tactical mode, you press and hold the tail cap, and then you press once on the side switch, and that allows the tail cap to give you direct access to strobe light, which is really great if you're anticipating a sticky situation or if you need it for some specific signaling purpose. And one last thing, the strike bezel has been sharpened just a little bit, not enough to tear up your pockets or to set off alarm bells at the airport, but it is a little bit sharper, just enough to inspire some confidence in your carry, and it really complements the aesthetic design of the Warrior Mini 3 as well. So there you have it, the brand new Warrior Mini 3, a fully matured third generation of product that is going to be around for a long time. You guys have to check this one out, not only for these cool colors, not only for this great introductory price on olightstore.ca during the July flash sale, but pretty much for the tail cap alone. This thing is a big deal. I can't wait to see it on more models. I love seeing it in the much anticipated sequel to the Warrior Mini 2. It just makes a lot of sense. It feels really great. The usability is immense. You guys are going to love it. Check out the link below, olightstore.ca. July flash sale, it's a big one. Check it out. And leave a like on the video. I really appreciate when you do. And subscribe to Olight Canada for more information.